Right, think I think that's working, hopefully. I'm just going to double check. How do I look? YouTube / David Watts / live. And it does appear to be live. Excellent. I was late, I'm afraid. Sorry. Well, hey guys. So I am streaming today, and we're just going to be doing sort of off the cuff stuff, really. I've got a few things to cover, and I don't know what order we're going to do it in. I'm not organised like Eric is, so I've just got a few bits going on. Do you like the fancy camera? It's not a webcam. I'm using my SLR to do this video, so it should look a little bit better than a normal webcam would be. I've only got one light in here, so it's a bit dark. So the SLR is able to get a bit more light in, which is nice. Anyhow, let's get started, I guess. So first off, what I wanted to do was just talk about what these streams are going to be about. Please let me know if you can hear me, by the way. Oh, you can hear me. Sasquatch can hear me. Good. So these streams, generally, it's going to be to update you on stuff that I'm doing. So projects that I've got going on. For instance, let me show you. Do I go to this one? No, hang on. This one here. There we go. So you can see on here that we've got sort of my video schedule. So I've got for tomorrow, the September the 25th, I'm going to be doing something on the GSM, a little GSM module. In fact, I can show you that. If I can pick it up. I'll pop it down here and you can see, hopefully. So let's just jump to that. Is it this one? There we go. So I've got this little GSM module. It's the SIM800L. I'm going to be working on that. And I've already got it hooked up and it works and everything. So I'm quite happy with it. It's got a nice little sort of gold plated aerial on it. So I'm going to be working with that. It's already working now, but it's not quite ready to show you. So other things I'm going to be working on is a GPS module. Now, that is somewhere. I may have misplaced it. Oh no, it's right here. I've got it. So that is, oh, that's my face. There we go. So that is this one here. So I'm going to be working with this. And I can't remember the part number, but it's a Neo 6M module. So hopefully that will also work out, but I've not really got any plans for that. I don't know how to use it yet. And there are many libraries out there that I can use. I did say this wasn't very scripted or organized, but I guess you can tell by now. So let's just go back to here. And we've got other things coming up. I'm going to do a little tour of where I make all my stuff. Now, that's it's a bit difficult really because it's a mess at the moment. So I'll have to tidy up a little bit. But I thought it might be interesting for you guys to see like all the parts bins and stuff that I've got. I know I like watching other people's videos of that kind of thing. So parts bins, sort of other stuff. The place where I solder, all that kind of jazz really. I thought that might be interesting for you guys to see. And I'd love to see yours as well, if I'm honest. I thought that'd be really cool. I'm also going to be working with an LT1302, which is a boost converter. Now, I'll go into why in a second. And I'm going to be looking at a latching button, but an SMD version. And again, I'll tell you why in a second. Next, I'm going to be looking at a resistor ladder and using an AT-Tiny 85. They're really cool little circuits. I tend to use them a lot because I use these rotary switches, which are pretty cool. And I don't have that many inputs on an ATtiny 85, so you have to just use the one. And you can do that. You can get as many inputs as you like, really, from that, provided you have a good analog input. God, it's weird watching two versions of myself here. Hang on, let's just turn that off. And can I mess around with that? Sorry, I'm just going to read the chat for a second, so entertain yourselves. Can you guys tell me if the audio and if there's music in the background, is that sounding okay and all that kind of stuff? It would be good to know. So hello to everyone in the chat. I don't know how to use the chat at the same time. I'm finding this all to be like working at 1,000,000 miles an hour because I'm trying to read what you've written and everything. And there's also about a 20-second delay between what you type and what I can read. We've also got, I'm working on a real-time clock. So I've used a real-time clock in the past, but I've never ever made a video on them. And I've probably watched other people's videos, so that I'll have a look first to make sure there's nothing out there which is perfectly adequate or the way that I would explain it. But I've got a real-time clock I fancy having a go with, so we'll be looking at that. And I'm going to look at an ADXL 345 as well. Well, that's a compass. Now I use one of those in my dice thing, the audio dice. It's easy to forget these projects. Honestly, I wish that would just go away, but I'm sort of duty bound to finish it now. Anyway, we're going to be looking at how to interface with one of those because I made another board recently and I tried to do an SMD version, so I'll talk about that in that video. I'm going to be looking at some SMD soldering tips. I've been doing a lot of SMD soldering and I'll show you a bit in a second. And I've gotten pretty good at it, and I've got a few tips that I can pass on. I thought it would be interesting for you guys to see. It's not as difficult as you might think. In fact, it's kind of easy. What else have we got there? This is non-alcoholic beer. Of course, an SPL meter. I'm going to be making it's a sound pressure level meter, but essentially it measures decibels. And that's for a studio where I work. So the idea is that it would alert people when the sound level is too high. We've got a frequency counter. Now I really wanted to make a frequency counter out of just standard, are they 7400 ICs, but I think I might use 4000 series. I really want to make a frequency counter without using a microcontroller, so we're going to be trying to do that. I'm not sure how easy that would be. And also I'm going to be looking at I think I've skipped a few bits. It's really tiny on my screen, I have to say. We're going to do some Raspberry Pi stuff. Eric's been playing around, he's in the chat. He's been playing around with some Raspberry Pi stuff. And I've sort of just let mine sit on the side, and that's a bit silly really, because they sent it to me to use and I haven't really used it much, so I'm going to. And the end goal is to create a robot, and I'll show you the robot that I'd like to emulate in a bit. So we're going to be doing some voice control with that. I'm also going to be interfacing with one of these little compass modules. I think it's like the MPU 6060, 6050, something like that. I'll be interfacing with one of those just because that's also going to go on this robot as well. And then we get into sort of November time. I'm going to be looking at some Christmas decorations, and it's going to be awful. I hate Christmas so much. Then we're going to look at some. I've skipped the Arduino Zero clone. That one's an interesting one. We'll come back to that. We've got Raspberry Pi servo control. Again, that's going to be necessary for the robot, and not something I've done before. But I might pass off most of the processing to an Arduino to run the servos, mainly because I want to protect the Raspberry Pi from any kind of current that might surge into the pins. I don't know exactly how it works yet, but I'll find out, and when I do a video I'll make it happen properly. and we've got fun with vibration motors. I recently bought a lot of vibration motors, about 15 or so, from China, and they were really cheap. They were like, I don't know, 25 cents each, something like that, and they're really cool. I thought I could put them into a glove and make some kind of haptic feedback sensor for perhaps a virtual object, or even attach it to a distance sensor, so the glove will tell you how far away you are from an object, something like that. I'm also going to be looking at controlling mains supplied devices, so that's using relays and also solid state relays. I've picked up some relays and I've also picked up a solid state one, and so we're going to see how they work. I'm a bit afraid of using mains power, and I think rightly so, really. It's not fun. I mean, I'm constantly terrified. When I made this lamp, this Edison style lamp, and I hated playing with mains power. It's terrifying. So I won't be doing a lot of that. And I'm also going to look at Raspberry Pi face tracking, which should be really interesting to do. And I'll show you again why in a second. So I want you guys to let me know what you think about any of that stuff that I've just mentioned. So if you've got any comments, let me know. But really, that's the plan for the next month or so. And I'm a little bit worried that it's not very good. Still, I'm doing stuff that I want to do, so stuff I'm going to enjoy. So hopefully that's all right. Has something gone wrong?